the purpose of being here today is to expound upon a set of drills that I cobbled together a few years ago. The purpose of the drills were to encapsulate what I called the Catholic play, Catholic, Catholica, Universal. And that's because what I was endeavouring to do was to capture the absolute essential actions based upon the absolute essential principles of fight that you are going to be able to use in a fight. The thing you'll notice about these drills is that they are, well, simple to the point of crudity. And there's a reason why that's the case, because, well, you in a fight, and I in a fight, and this gentleman in a fight, will be simple and crude. Do not confuse the psychology of play with the psychology of combat. When was the last time in a play that you had tunnel vision, a mouth that tasted like you were licking the cat's arse? That's a subject I know a great deal about, having lived with a cat for 3 years. Stomach churning, legs like lead. You never feel these experiences, but these are the experiences you'll have in a fight. So they have to be simple, direct, crude actions, really. These are the things that will keep you safe in a fight. Before we go on to the drills, I want to give some context to these drills, some theoretical Tudor English context. Okay, so the first thing we have to understand is that the English fight's focus is upon defence rather than offence. This was George Silver's great gripe with the Italian fight, that his focus was on offence rather than defence. Okay, so that has to be clearly understood, or else an awful lot of what we do today won't make sense. Second point to remember is that in the main, you're endeavouring continually to fight at distance. Okay, fighting at distance is, I've got Martin in a situation here where if he extends his arm towards me, he leans towards me, he can't reach, well, lean towards me, he can't reach. He has to literally take a big step towards me to be able to, exactly, okay? So he's got to operate with that foot before he can hit me. Now this operates at 2 levels, both defensively and offensively, okay? Now an awful lot of people gripe about this and say, well, oh, let's do it. If Martin was to come in with a swash, okay, I got, whoa, and I was to slip back to distance and Martin just stood bolt upright. So he come in and stand back upright. Right, going back to where you started this was. Right, okay. You can see that I'm in the same position as him. I now have to do this. And people say, well, how are you going to hit your opponent? Okay. Well, it has to be said that you are going to throw oodles of opportunities away of offending your opponent. But in theory, in every instant, you will be keeping yourself safe. Okay? So fighting at distance. Okay? But it's not all doom and gloom. Okay? Because there are plenty of opportunities to offend your person, your opponent, should I say. Because there are 2 forms of being at distance. Martin is at distance, he's put the weapon up. He's now at distant, bent to me. But if he comes in with an attack and stops spent, okay, you see I'm still perfectly safe, okay, but I can comfortably reach him. For him to reach me, he has to take another action of the foot, okay, which is infinitely slower, somewhat slower, than my action of the hand. Okay. The way that we navigate around this, and we're constantly looking for this, is to fight by time. We set distance, and then we're looking for the time advantages. The whole English fight is based upon creating time advantages for yourself as against your opponent. Now there are 5 categories of time, which I'll quickly rhyme off. 5 true times, 4 false times. Did I say 5 true times? The 4 true times, 4 false times. The 4 motions, which are also times. The 4 offensive actions, which are also times. And the time of hand and foot. Not to be confused with the time of hand, body and foot. Quickly then, to go through these. The four true times, well, they delineate at 2 levels. Firstly, they teach us what parts of our anatomy should complete first. Please note I use the word complete. It doesn't matter whether your foot moves first. Yeah? If my foot's moving first, as long as my hand finishes first, that's what constitutes a true time. A false time is the opposite of that. In every situation, if your hand completes last, then it's a false time. The 4 motions, well, they are bent, spent, lying spent, and drawing back. And what they do is that they reflect the cycle of an action. So if that's a bent position, that is clearly a spent position. And now at lying spent, that's what happens when we come into contact with either a blade or a body, and then we have the drawing back. Okay? The 4 offensive actions, also known as times. First, before, just, and afterwards. Now what do they reflect? Well, the first action is when your action completes before your opponent's action starts. A before action or a before time is when your action completes before your opponent's action completes. A just time action is when it completes at the same time as your opponent's action, and the last one, afterwards, is when your action completes after his actions. A quick demonstration. Let's assume that Martin's come in. So he's coming in nice and upright. Okay. If I catch him here, what's actually happened here? He's coming at the time of hand, body and foot. As you can see, I'm out of distance. Okay, and I'm operating, from the 4 motions point of view, he's nearly spent, and I'm operating at a before time. My action completes before his does. If his was here, and I've caught him there, well again, Martin's come in yet again at the time of the hand, body and foot. He's spent from the 4 motions point of view. I, on the other hand, I'm also spent, but I'm operating at just time action. And if he's here, and I catch him thusly or thusly, it's afterwards time for me, operating at the time of the hand or hand and body, whereas he's drawing back. But again, as he's drawing back, I can reach in and get his head. If I throw in my body weight, I'm coming even closer to operating at the time of the hand, body and foot. So by carefully observing these times, setting distance, observing the times, these are the sort of things that we can get away with. But let me underpin this for you. If this gentleman knows what he's doing and he maintains distance to me and he's clever with it, then I'm not going to hit him. This is to be clearly understood. Okay. The drills then. Time of the hand and foot, I didn't explain that. Time of the hand and foot is simply that if Marty comes in with an attack and I ward him, it's not static. That will be the time of the hand and foot. What I'm doing with my footwork does not interfere with what I'm doing with my blade. Okay? So it's a kind of operating at the time of the hand, footwork.